Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. This is June 10th. This is Thursday, 2021. Hey, appreciate you guys' patience. And we're going to dive into today's gospel today. And tomorrow I will be traveling, so there will not be a video tomorrow. And then we'll get back started on Monday. So let me minimize myself here and let's go to our gospel. Today is according to Matthew chapter 5, verses 20 through 26. So Jesus said to his disciples, I tell you, unless your righteousness surpasses that of the scribes and the Pharisees, you will not enter into the kingdom of heaven. You have heard that it was said to your ancestors, you shall not kill, and whoever kills will be liable to judgment. But I say to you, whoever is angry with his brother will be liable to judgment. Whoever says to his brother, Raka, will be answerable to the Sanhedrin, and whoever says you fool will be liable to fiery Gehenna. Therefore, if you bring your gift to the altar, and there recall that your brother has anything against you, leave your gift there at the altar. Go first and reconcile with your brother, and then come and offer your gift. Settle with your opponent quickly while on the way to court with him. Otherwise, your opponent will hand you over to the judge, and the judge will hand you over to the guard, and you will be thrown into prison. Amen, I say to you, you will not be released until you have paid the last penny. So this is interesting because right off the bat, he says, I tell you, unless your righteousness surpasses that of the scribes and the Pharisees. So right off the bat, he's using them as the bar, right? And I don't think that means that the bar is going to be held high based on our experience. And then he says, you shall not kill, and whoever kills will be liable to judgment. Yeah, we know that. But whoever is angry with his brother will be liable to judgment. And here's the interesting thing. And think about it from a sinful perspective. And think about our own sin. How many times have we allowed a sin to fester in us? How many times have I allowed a sin to fester inside me? How many times have I allowed that to kind of build? And, they say it's a white lie. And you tell a small little lie and it builds up. So steal a piece of candy. Well, next time it may not be a piece of candy I steal. Maybe something else bigger, and then bigger and bigger. And it builds on top of each other. And so that's what's interesting about when we're talking about today's society and relativism and all the issues that are going on right now. It's one little issue stacked on top of another and on another and on another. And in our own lives, that's pretty bad. That's what ends up happening. And so you're liable to judgment, because what's going to happen is that if you're angry with your brother, right? First of all, the commandment is love your neighbor as you love yourself, right? So, and whoever says to his brother Raka will be answerable to the Sanhedrin. Whoever says you fool will be liable to fiery Gehenna. So, he even takes it from angry down to just saying you fool. If you bring your gift to the altar, but here's the solution. If you bring your gift to the altar and there recall that your brother has anything against you, leave your gift there at the altar. First, go and reconcile with your brother. So if you have an issue with somebody, you need to approach the individual and hash it out. Give them an opportunity to communicate. Maybe it's your own fault, right? I can't tell you how many times that, Sarah and I have had conversations, and before we even spoke physically, I already had the conversation in my head. And many times we automatically think the worst of the conversations. And I think one of the things I've learned is to try to have the conversation right away. And if you have the conversation right away, if you've wronged somebody, if I have wronged somebody or somebody has wronged me, I need to approach it right away. Okay? Here, this is how I feel. This is how I took it. Is this it? Was I mistaken? Or is this actually how you said it or meant it? And if so, let's hash this out. Let's fix this. Okay? The respect for one another increases substantially and significantly. And now, remember, the end goal is we're trying to get our brother and our sisters to heaven. And by our focus on them, by my focus on trying to get others to heaven in a loving way, then it should be laying a pathway for me to attain heaven myself. But first, as Jesus says, I came to serve, not to be served. And so that's really essentially what we're called to do, is serve our brothers and sisters. And Jesus warns us, look, you do it in my name, you're not going to always be liked, but you still need to do it. Because at the end of the day, when people don't believe in God, doesn't mean God doesn't believe in them. He still does. God doesn't change. Jesus doesn't change, right? Heaven is what heaven is. It's in its perfection and perfection of love. It's us who changes and evolves or devolves, right? And so it's up to us and focusing on our prayer life, our piety, our study, and our learning of our faith, and building that knowledge of our faith. And then action, right? Evangelization, just being who you're praying about and what you're learning about, okay? And then be that person. And if we follow Christ's guidance of loving our neighbor, serve, not be served, then that pathway to heaven should be clearer. Doesn't mean it's guaranteed. We got to participate in all these, and it's a day-to-day, and sometimes it's an hour-to-hour, sometimes it's a minute-to-minute, right? But there are days that are like that. I shared wholeheartedly my day yesterday. And it's going to happen. And I think that's the key in what I'm trying to accomplish with this My Perfect Imperfect Journey, is understanding that we all are walking a pathway that's imperfect. Every single one of us. But together, we can walk this pathway and clear the road to heaven much clearer if we are serving not just each other, but others around us. And the war's been won. Now we got to go out and battle. So God bless you guys. Love you.